Welcome everybody. So let's just settle ourselves for this monthly practice. Take a nice deep breath in. Have a sigh out. And again. And last one. And let's just take a little bit of upper body movement in first. So let's go to the right, taking a twist, and we'll do 3 sighing breaths with the twist. Deep breath in. Lovely, let's go the other way. Lovely, back to centre. Let's do a little bit of cat-cow, so just bring your hands to your thighs or however you're sitting. Inhale, exhale. It's really stretching out the back. Lovely, now bring the hands to the shoulders, take a nice deep breath in. Good, and the other way. Lovely, now we're just going to do a little bit of the Kundalini spiral for the heart. So inhale to the left, so your left. Exhale to the right. Start off slowly. Make sure the inhale is always when you turn left, and build up the speed. So just be careful if you've got low blood pressure. Just really concentrating on the heart space now, front and back. Good, come back to centre, nice deep breath in. And a sigh out. Maybe a yawn. Okay, so just bring your attention to the natural breath, spine nice and straight. Just simply observing the breath as it comes into the nostrils, and as it pours back out. Not altering it at all, just noticing. So we're just going to start to settle our mental waves, and we're going to work with Sukha Pranayama, and then we'll add in a different pranayama. So just breathing in for a count of 4 and breathing out for 4. Keep going. Good. Now let's increase the breath to 5. Notice when the mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath. I'm going to move to a count of 6. So remember, as you move towards 6, where sometimes it can be a little bit harder to breathe in. So reduce the speed at which you're breathing in. So we're not breathing in for more, we're just breathing in more slowly. Lovely. Now let's breathe in for a count of 7. So remember, we're just slowing it down. Feel the breath at the tip of the nose. Notice how the sound of the breath is much quieter as we reach the higher counts. Good. Now we're going to finally breathe in and out for 8. So much slower, half the speed at which we started at. Love. Now release the count. Just notice the effect on the mind. That quieting effect that it has. I'm just going to work with a gathering of energy within our own body before we move to the Tonglen. So this is a really powerful practice, and it uses a simple mantra which is in English, which I'll tell you about as we get there. So bring your attention to the top of the head and then go up into the 8th, and imagine this funnel of light. It's like a column and it's golden, and you're going to breathe it into the body, and it comes in through the central channel all the way down, and then it starts to fill up. So you keep breathing in. Every time you breathe in, there's more energy coming in, and it comes all the way up until it fills the entire body. Just keep filling yourself up, connecting to this energy of consciousness. Visualize, imagine your body is a a container for consciousness. We're just filling it up, topping it up. And as you work with your awareness of this golden energy, I want you to mentally say to yourself, because you're looking at this energy in your mind, I am that. I am. I am that. I am. So we're acknowledging, we're feeling that connection to the light. Be aware of it filling your entire body, this golden substance, light energy that we sit in, we stand in, we lie down in, we walk around in. It's always with us. But when we bring our attention to it, it becomes even more powerful. And then as you fill yourself fully with this light, notice that at the heart space, there's a particle of golden light that's more shiny than the rest. It's really more intense. And this is your particle of infinity, or the Atman. So your soul's experience this time around, in this particular life, with your particular name, and the stories. So focus on that light. And as you focus on that light, I will invite you to say the following to yourself. I am a being of light, and light I shall remain. We'll say it twice more. I am a being of light, and light I shall remain. I am a being of light, and light I shall remain. And then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, mentally say, there is no time. So what we're doing with these simple words is we are creating a different frequency, but it's one that we came in with. So the combination of these two statements brings us organically back to our first breath. So that first moment that we came into the world and we took our first breath as human and light being. And what happens is we are cloaked with imprints of density and belief as soon as we come into the physical form, which are placed on top of our natural essence, which is divinity and spiritual nature. So when you repeat these words, I am a being of light, and light I shall remain, what happens is it repatterns the amount of light that is infused into our body, so physical body and our energetic field. And it can be incredibly helpful as we move through these much more high vibrational times that we're living in, to align ourselves to the new energy. So bring your attention to the centre of the chest. So remember, this being of light that we've acknowledged within us is this space within us that transmutes this energy, because that being of light is outside of time, because it is eternal and it is indestructible. It has always existed and it will never cease to exist. Breathing in and out at the heart space. Just imagine the breath coming from the centre of the chest. So we're just going to set up the foundations for the Tonglen practice. And we give the breath some texture. So remember our inhale, we imagine a smoky, cloudy texture, which is the suffering that we work with. And it comes to the light, and as soon as it hits the light, it just turns into energy. So it doesn't affect us, it's like a combustion. And then we push out light. So we're inhaling a darkness, and we exhale light. And this is the transformational process of this ancient practice of Tonglen. It's very tantric. It's also very shamanic. So just feeling that sense of drawing inwards and then pushing out the light. And remember, as the energy comes into you, it's simply like putting more logs on the fire or more coal on the fire. It creates more light, so it burns away. The density burns at the heart space, and light is extended out. Good. Now we're going to start to work for ourselves, because we have to start there. We can't give from an empty cup. And if we want to experience peace in the world, then we have to start with ourselves and the density that's in our field that no longer serves us. So I want you to become aware of your own body, which includes 4 bodies and 3 minds, and the density there, the suffering. And it may be a physical suffering, but there's also, linked to all physical sufferings, there's always emotion, there is always mental suffering, and to an extent spiritual. So just bring your attention to your own energy field, your own body, and be aware of your own suffering in all its forms. Feel its density, however you experience it. And as you breathe in, imagine you're sucking in all that density into your heart space, where it is transmuted into light. And as you exhale, you push it out. So you're creating this big ball of light. Inhaling your own suffering, how you feel it, the stories that you tell about it. And then fill yourself with your own light. Remember, you are a light being. And light, you will always remain. Fill the space. Notice any conversations that you have that seem to go round and round. Add those to the fire as well. Breathe them in. And as you exhale, just fill the space with light. Just transmuting your own suffering. Sometimes I like to feel as if the very beginning of that exhale is like a really huge force of light, and it's chasing away the darkness. So as I exhale, it pushes it right out in all directions. So it just leaves my energy field. It's whatever works for you. And as you breathe out that light to yourself, I also want you to breathe out that love for yourself. Maybe even say to yourself, I love you. I'm a being of light. And light I shall remain. And send that wish out for you to be joyful, be happy, be well. Feel the frequency of that wish for yourself in your own energy field. Perhaps think a smile to yourself. And know that when we align to this golden energy, which is the energy of consciousness, creation, when we're aligned to it, we create. We become very creative. So aligning to this energy is really important. I have some heart codes for you, so just receive them if they feel right for you, and if they don't, they'll just move through your own energy system. Yanaya siaha osotokoyo noa isiatea aramatis ata kukurumoto shukwana kate isiania takaria maha ushkwanaha ushkwanaha isiania ate hushkoboromoa tatata yania se atakaria mana hushukanate hushku anate hasate anahatata ushutukoromo wasiete. Just be aware of your own light and how beautiful it is. And this individual light is part of the greater whole. Is inia ata karmaha ustukurmowate. Lovely. Now let's move to a loved one. So this is, remember, somebody that we find it really easy to be with. Friends. Loved ones, not always the easiest people to be with. But find somebody who you find it really easy to just hang out with, and you're going to work for them. Be aware of their suffering. And just take a moment to settle. So you might settle on one or two people, and if you're used to this practice, then you could work with both. That's fine if you can hold them both in your imagination. Otherwise, settle on one. And when you're ready, bring them to mind so you can imagine where they are. And you see yourself sitting with them. And you can see how their suffering shows on their bodies. It might be a really obvious physical thing, or maybe it shows in their eyes, on their face. Just noticing this loved one's suffering. And when you're ready, be aware of the suffering pouring out of them to create this cloud, this smoky energy that sits between you and them. And when you feel ready, draw it in. Feel it combust at the heart space, make this beautiful open heart, transmute it into light, push it out. And as you exhale, feel that sense of that genuine wish for them to be well, to find their path, to find ease in their body and their mind. So when we're working with others, regardless of how we feel about them, we're working from a place of non-ego. We're just working from a place that is unconditional love. And unconditional love has no expectations, not even a thank you or an acknowledgement. Just we're doing it because we can. Sini ieteramaha is sirimosh utukwa isiania ietaramah ustukwanaha yasiania ietoromo ushkwanata tekerianaha. Let's feel into the energy of the heart space. Feel that expansion as you take on. And it just allows that heart space to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Inatekarima nisianaha, and the ego to become smaller. Ushkwatekirianahate. Notice your loved one. Notice that their face might be a little bit more at ease. See what you can see in their body. Notice them. Really work with the breath. That sensation of the movement inwards and outwards, that continual breath that's talked about in the Tantras, the flow of the divine. We're just the conduit. We're just processing it because we can hold the space for people. Lovely. Now let's do 3 more breaths, really well focused for our loved ones. Last breath. Lovely. Now visualize your loved ones at ease. And then we'll move to somebody who we find it really difficult to be with. Now remember that this can be the most powerful. So it may be a loved one that they're quite challenging to be with, even though you love them. Maybe it's somebody who you've fallen out with. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's somebody on the TV. Maybe it's one of our politicians or world leaders. Anybody who you feel challenging, and I challenge you to maybe work with somebody you feel really challenged by, because again it always comes back to ego. So remember, we are this hollow vessel, and we are just transmuting this energy through the heart space, which is very powerful. So find that person that you want to work with and see them. And you may, maybe not really know them that well, but you can sense the energy that you find challenging. And I want you to recognize that behavior, whatever it is that they do, that irritates you or upsets you or actually traumatizes you in some cases. See their energy. Notice how it shows on their body and the language that their body has, which is usually pretty aggressive if you're struggling. And see it as suffering. It's just an expression of suffering. Negative speak. Maybe some people wish you unwell, which is That's because they're projecting how they feel about themselves. So remember, we're always a mirror. And when we react, we're reacting from ego. So when you're ready, see this person that you're going to work with, and let this energy that creates the difficulties, which is this person's suffering, pour out, and see it sit between you and them. You might find that it's instantly feels denser in your mind, in the energetic field as well, but also you might mentally see it as a darker colour, whatever works for you. And we're going to breathe it to the heart space. Ready? Breathe it in. And as you exhale, send it out. See the light hitting their energy field. So we're transmuting their density. Inhale, draw it in. Remember, it will never touch you. It just gets transmuted into unconditional love. Send out that healing light of unconditional love. And remember, this person that you find challenging, it doesn't mean to say that you're there to save them. It may be that as you work with these difficulties, that you recognise that it's time to walk away from that relationship. But you can still wish somebody well. So just working with that genuine wish for this person to be well. But also that recognition that perhaps as you breathe out and you send that love, you're also breathing out a boundary space for yourself. How far is that boundary space? Is it time to set bigger boundaries? So boundaries are really a way to show love. Because when we set boundaries for ourselves, it makes relationships much more healthy. And some of those we walk away from. And some of them we adjust because we've got better boundaries. So keep working with this person. Notice how they seem now. Are they less agitated? Is there something else going on in there? Your awareness of them. Sending that wish for them to genuinely find support and help. A journey that will help fix them. Not you to fix them, but a journey that will allow them to find their own healing journey. Whatever that looks like. Okay, let's do 3 really well-focused breaths for this person we find it difficult to be with. Lovely, now release. Take a moment to notice a shift in energy. Isatakim tariana a us utukuramo ataka. Sitakariama usotokuramo no stokwa. I want you to visualize a ring around the body, however you imagine that. So I imagine it as a big sort of disco ball. But I want you to notice where your boundaries are with this difficult person. Sina atakariamaya husho tukoromoto stokwa. Notice whether that boundary needs to be pushed out a little bit or whether actually there needs to be a little bit more softness in the way that you speak to that person. Maybe you're triggering each other. I want you to just notice it and feel into the energy from the heart space. Isatakiri mahate no usto. Just be really observant. Sinu ush koromua te 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 te. See how far you can push the heart space. Notice what it's telling you about this relationship. So just feel it intuitively. We're not up in the head, we're in the heart. Istakarma sototukwe niahe. Just notice, and we'll all find there's a different answer that comes back that gives us an idea about how we move forwards with these tricky relationships, how to navigate them from a place of unconditional love, which can look very different for everybody. Lovely. Now let's move to a familiar stranger. So remember, this is somebody that you might see quite regularly. You have no idea what the name is. Maybe it's somebody you walk the dog with, or you just see when you're out and about, or somebody on public transport, somebody who serves you. Maybe it's somebody who just walks past the house and you see them regularly and you think, they look a bit sad. Just whoever comes to mind. And just take a moment to see them. And we're going to imagine that we're going to do this as we pass that person, or they pass us. So Tonglen can be done instantaneously. It doesn't have to be a really long practice. So imagine you're seeing this person and there's just a fleeting moment, and you're going to breathe in their suffering. Because you can see it, you can recognise it in their body, in their eyes, and then you're just going to send out that light and a genuine wish for them to be well, to find help and focus, whatever it is that they need, support. And maybe you find yourself doing it with a few people. Imagine yourself slightly challenged at the supermarket and there's a stranger behaving strangely, and you just send them a bit of love. This is Tonglen. You know, sometimes we see people, especially in this hot weather, arguing, and you walk past the arguing and you can really feel the energy, and just give them some light. Lovely. 2 more breaths. Good. Now let's work with ourselves. So imagine that we're all sitting in a big circle and we may be miles and miles away from each other, even in different countries. But just feel that connection. So I want you to bring your hands slightly up. Imagine we're just gently touching each other's energy field. And if you work with energy, you'll probably feel it straight away. Push out so you can feel everybody. Hi there, how are you? And let's just imagine we're putting all of our stuff collectively into a big pile in the middle of our circle. Push it all in there. Maybe it's a big pile of wood. Pop it all in. All that stuff that no longer serves you. All the things you'd like to change. Imagine them going up in flames. We're going to breathe in all that density. Breathe it in. Good, and as you exhale, that light is pouring into us. However you imagine that happening. Just feel that connection to each other as we connect through our energy fields, which we can project them infinitely. It's just limited by our imagination. So feel yourself maybe extending. I'm going to put my arms around you now. Oh, hello. And just feel that sense of support that we all have. You know, some of us have never met in person, but we can still support anybody, anywhere, when you allow light into the system. Good, now let's push our light even further out now. We're all topped up. Push it out to the neighbours. Upstairs, downstairs, next door, either side, out into the countryside. Push it out, push it out, push it out. Imagine this vast field of energy that we're creating between us. And we're going to pull it out so far that it encompasses the entire planet. And now we're just outside of Earth, holding this huge light field between us. And we're now taking on the suffering of all beings. We're going to transmute it in the hearts. Remember when I say take it on, we're not taking it on. We're just pulling it in. And we're using it to create an even bigger heart space, because that's all that happens to that energy. Pull it into the heart, let it pour into that golden energy field and just allow it to be transmuted. The more we transmute, the more peace we find on the planet, because we can do this at a distance. Think about all those places where people are ravaged by war, continual disagreements. Just place it all with light. All human beings on this earth, may the density be transmuted into light. And to all of the beings, the stone and the crystal and the plants, the mycelium, the mushrooms, the minerals, all of these kingdoms that we take for granted. Breathe in any density, sending out light and the wish for them to be well. The mountains, the sacred mountains of this world. The two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy crawlies, the winged, the finned, the furred. All beings. Imagine them all bathed in this beautiful light. Releasing the dense stories of the history of this planet. Just let it all go. So that we can create a new being of human. So there will be a new race of human beings. We are only the fourth. There's said to be 7. And the next coming race will be known as the Homo Luminous. So imagine that future, how beautiful, how iridescent everything will be. Many spiritual lineages are talking about the 1,000-year of peace. And we're working towards that. It's started now, although it doesn't feel like it. More and more people are waking up to the truth that we are not just human, we are spiritual beings here to learn about things, to bring in light. Feel your own light so bright that it fills the world. And remember, when we align to this energy, we are able to create. And some of those things might be tiny, or they might be huge, big things, starting new communities. But feel that sense of positive change for the entire world that we can bring through our own heart spaces, transmuting. And as you breathe out now, I want you to breathe out your wishes for the planet, for Pachamama, Gaia, Mother Earth. What are your wishes? The wishes for peace, where we are able to communicate more freely with each other and to welcome differences rather than create friction between people. Seas free of toxins and pollutions, the air free of pollution, where all beings are free, and that we live in harmony with the planet. And we undo the damage that we have all been responsible for in some ways or another. That wish that we can live on a planet that is vibrating and is healthy, and it doesn't just support the human beings but all the other animals, plants, insects. See it, the future happening now. Imagine it's happening now. Ya tesiana a tom torionoa a ya sianiaha us uromo tostukwa hesibrinia nanasate usotokurmo shutukwanaha. Just speaking our truth from our heart with kindness. Bring your attention back now to the center of your chest, to this being of light within you. And I just want you to repeat that phrase again so you can feel that connection. I am a being of light, and light I shall remain. I am a being of light, and light I shall remain. There is no time. Let the hands rest at the heart space. Be aware of this tiny point of light, but this huge vibration of golden energy all around you. And we're going to seal our energy field, so let the hands come to the side of the body. And I want you to imagine that as you inhale, you're going to pull up a blue ball of energy, which is the vibration of the earth. Pull it up. Put it all around you like a bauble. And then you're going to pull down a golden one from the sky, so feminine energy and then masculine energy. And this settles and goes hard like gold. And then you're going to pick up loads and loads of tiny little mirrors, and you're going to sprinkle them all over the gold so that your entire energy field is a mirror with the gold on the inside and then the blue on the inside. So you deal with your stuff and you don't let the other stuff in, because sometimes we can end up processing other people's things, which is fine if you've been trained to do that. But you need to recognise what you're projecting and what someone else is projecting onto you. And that's about boundaries as well, and really knowing yourself. So bring the hands to the heart space once more. Inhale. And as you exhale, down through the midline. And namaste. Thank you for joining me, everybody.